The clock is ticking, and the signs of Qiyamah are closer than ever. But did you know some of these signs are linked directly to Ramadan? What if this month is a warning, not just a blessing? The air is thick with anticipation. The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. And yet, there are signs all around us. Signs that may be warning us of something much bigger. Something that has been foretold in the Holy Scriptures. Something that's coming closer every day. Could it be the major signs of Qiyamah, the day of judgment itself? Could these signs show up in Ramadan? In the next few minutes, you're going to learn how the events of the world right now might not just be coincidences. They might be clues leading up to a time we've all been warned about. Ramadan, a time for prayer, fasting, and reflection, might also be a time for something even more significant. What are these signs? What should you be looking for? Don't miss a moment, because the truth might shock you. As we experience the blessings and challenges of Ramadan, we often focus on the spiritual aspects, fasting, praying, and seeking Allah's mercy. But did you know that the holy month could also mark the signs of something far greater? Yes, the major signs of Qiyamah, the end times, are said to appear before the Day of Judgment. And what if I told you some of those signs might already be unfolding right now, especially during Ramadan? The concept of Qiyamah is one that every Muslim holds in their heart. We all know it's inevitable. But what if I told you that we're getting closer to its arrival, and Ramadan is the perfect time to reflect on the signs that have been foretold? You've probably heard about the signs before, but have you ever wondered how they relate to the world today? Let's break this down and find out what you need to be watching for in this Ramadan. These signs aren't just abstract or distant events. They might be happening right in front of us. The first major sign that many of us might already be witnessing is the rise of false prophets. In fact, the Quran and Hadith clearly warn us about individuals who will claim to be prophets or claim to possess divine knowledge. They will mislead the masses, bending truths to serve their agendas. Take a moment to think about the world we live in today. So much misinformation is spreading every day. In the age of social media, everyone has a voice, and it's easy to be swayed by charisma or smooth talk. But how do we separate truth from falsehood? How many voices out there are manipulating the truth for personal gain? Could some of these individuals be fulfilling the prophecy of the false messengers? Even in Ramadan, a time of heightened spirituality, we must remain vigilant. We're seeing a surge in spiritual leaders and influencers who twist religious truths to suit their desires. The signs are subtle, but they're there. Are we being led astray by individuals who claim to know more than they should? The second major sign is the gradual erosion of moral values. In the Hadith, it is said that as Qiyamah approaches, the moral fabric of society will deteriorate. What was once considered a sin will be openly accepted. What was once seen as good will become rare, and what was once considered evil will be praised. Look around. In many places, morality seems to be slipping through our fingers. We live in a time when acts that were once deemed immoral are now being celebrated. People are becoming desensitized to corruption, violence, and injustice. Is it any wonder that we're seeing so much chaos in the world today? And during Ramadan, when we're supposed to be closest to Allah, there's still widespread corruption, greed, and hatred. The heart of Ramadan is a time to cleanse ourselves spiritually. But are we truly taking the time to reflect on how our world has changed? Are we still upholding the values that Ramadan represents? Another important sign that will lead to Qiyamah is the distortion of time. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said that time would pass quickly as the end approaches, and we are certainly living in an era where days blur into each other. Time seems to slip away faster than ever before. It feels as though we are constantly running against the clock, yet time never seems enough. This is particularly evident during Ramadan. It seems like just yesterday we started, and suddenly the month is over. The world seems to be accelerating, moving faster, as if it's all headed towards something inevitable. Could this rapid passage of time be signaling something bigger? It's easy to get caught up in the busy routines of life, but Ramadan is a time to slow down, reflect, and reconnect. Are we so focused on the world's rush that we've forgotten the most important thing, the reality of Qiyamah? We can't ignore the ongoing tragedies that strike humanity. Disease, famine, and disaster. In many hadiths, the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, spoke of widespread disease and famine as signs of the approaching end times. And as we're all too aware, the world has witnessed an increase in pandemics and famines that seem to come without warning. From COVID-19 to other regional disasters, it's clear that the world isn't the same as it used to be. But Ramadan, as the month of mercy and reflection, calls on us to remember those suffering. Are we doing enough to help others? Are we using our time during this blessed month to not only seek forgiveness but to give back to those in need? The spread of disease is not just a medical issue, it's a wake-up call. It reminds us of the fragility of life and the importance of preparing for the unseen, for the life after death. Ramadan, with its emphasis on charity and compassion, should encourage us to act with empathy and to reflect on how we can contribute to easing the suffering of others. Finally, we must acknowledge the increase in natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, and storms that seem to strike with increasing intensity. These are all major signs that have been foretold in the Hadith. While we may not be able to control the earth's shifting, we can recognize the patterns and understand the divine wisdom behind them. Every time a natural disaster hits, it serves as a reminder of the power of Allah and the impermanence of this world. Ramadan offers the perfect time to reflect on our lives and our actions. Are we living with the understanding that the world could change at any moment? Are we ready for the day when everything as we know it might come to an end? As Ramadan progresses, let these signs of Qiyamah stay at the forefront of your mind. Every fast you complete, every prayer you say, and every charity you give takes on a deeper meaning when you understand the bigger picture. The signs of the end times are not just abstract warnings. They are happening all around us in our world today, but it's not all doom and gloom. Ramadan is the time for us to reconnect with our faith, to seek forgiveness, and to prepare for the future. The signs are here, yes, but so is the mercy of Allah. Ramadan offers us the opportunity to purify our hearts, to turn toward Allah with sincerity, and to reflect on how we can better live our lives in accordance with His will. As we close, let me leave you with this. The end of times may be nearer than we think, but Ramadan reminds us that it's never too late to change. The question is, how will you respond to the signs you're seeing around you? So now, as we wrap up, I want you to reflect. Are you paying attention to the signs around you? Are you prepared for what may be coming next? Take a moment to think. What will your actions be in this life and the next? If this video made you think differently about the world you live in and the signs that may be unfolding before us, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's spread the message before it's too late. Keep your faith strong, stay vigilant, and use this blessed month to realign yourself with Allah's will. Remember, the clock is ticking, and so is the opportunity to make a lasting change.